Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching today's video. Today's video is called How to Choose the Right Pet, 7 Questions to Ask Before Bringing Home a New Pet. In today's video, we're going to talk about 7 things that you should consider when choosing a new pet. A couple of them you probably haven't thought of. I'm also going to have some resources for you for how to find the right pet in your area, and also how to take care of your new pet, and what are you going to need for your new pet. I hope that you'll find this video to be helpful. If you do, please go ahead and give it a like. It does help YouTubers when you do that. Now, if you have not been here before, my name is Deborah. I own PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and several times a month I do videos all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So if you have a pet that you would like to receive continuous help with, or if you would like to continue to receive help with the new pet you're obviously thinking about getting, please go ahead and subscribe, and if you're not already, and please go ahead and share the channel with your friends and family who have a dog or a cat. Now, we are going to use this article on my website called How to Choose the Right Pet to guide us through today's video. I'm going to give you a link to this article in the description box, and I'm also going to give you a link to the resources that we're talking about as we go along in the video. Everything will be in the description box. Now, first of all, if you've decided to get a pet, it's important to take the time to choose the right pet for you and your family. Instead of just going to the pet store or, driving over to the SPCA to just see what they have, you really need to think about several factors to make sure that you get the right pet for you, and to make sure that whatever pet that you're adopting, that you're the right person or family for that pet. You want both of you to end up in the right place, right? In order to choose the right pet, you need to consider where you live, how much time you have, whether you can afford a pet, if pet fur is a problem, what pet is best if you have kids, the temperament and size of the pet, and whether the pet will fit into your lifestyle. Let's talk about these a little bit more. What pets are suitable for your home? You have to consider the size and type of home that you live in. If you live in an apartment, for example, make sure you're allowed to have a pet, and also be aware that many apartment complexes and landlords have some pet fees, and sometimes they can be pretty stiff. There can be a pet deposit fee that is not refundable, and there can also be a monthly fee added to your rent. So just make sure that you know that going in. Make sure that you have permission, that you're allowed to have the pet. Also consider the size of the pet, and if you're getting a puppy, consider how big is this dog going to get. If you live in a house and you have a yard, you could consider a larger dog, but if you live, say, in a city or in a small apartment, you might want to get a lap dog or a cat, right? Make sure that the pet is appropriate for whatever home that you live in. Also, this is a big one. Do you have time for a pet? Especially if you have never owned a pet before, you may not be aware of how much time and effort is required to take proper care of a pet. For example, dogs need to be walked regularly, whereas cats don't. Puppies and kittens need constant attention, supervision, potty training, whereas an adult dog or cat generally wouldn't need that. All dogs and cats need a certain amount of exercise and mental stimulation. And I'm going to give you a couple of links here for videos. One is how to take care of a dog, and the other is how to take care of a cat. So especially if you're a new pet owner, but even if you're not, watch those videos, and it'll kind of give you a refresher course on all aspects of taking care of your pet and what that's going to entail. Okay, you just need to know this going in, and you also need to be able to be prepared for these responsibilities before going in. So I hope you find those 2 videos helpful. I'll give you the links in the description box. This is another big one. Can you afford a pet? Now, you will need to consider not only the cost of food and supplies, but also the cost of veterinary care. Research your pet's breed to find out if the breed is prone to certain health issues. You should also consider getting an inexpensive pet health insurance policy for your pet. I'm going to give you a link to my video called Health Insurance for Pets, Everything That You Need to Know. That's going to help you decide whether or not you should get pet insurance for your new pet, and then gives you some help on what things you should consider. It also comes with a printable list of questions you should ask about health insurance before you get a policy. So that's going to give you a lot of information on this subject. But whether or not your pet ever gets sick, all pets need at least an annual checkup at the vet. They all need annual vaccines. And they may not get cancer or some terrible thing, but you might have a dog injure their back. You might have a cat sprain a paw. You could have somebody, God forbid, choking on something. And don't think, oh, the dog is young, he's not going to have any health problems. Yeah, he could break his leg just jumping off the couch. Do you know what I mean? So just be aware of that. That if you can't afford to pay for up to, I would say, $2,000 or more, either on credit or with a savings account, then you should consider pet health insurance. But just go through and, decide how much food is this pet going to eat. You're going to have to get some toys. If you're going to have an indoor cat, you're going to need things like a scratching post, maybe a window perch. You're going to need toys. If you're getting a puppy, you're going to need chew toys, all these sorts of things. So just put some thought into that. And again, go back and watch my videos, how to take care of a dog, how to take care of a cat, to give you some help with what the expenses might be. Also, is fur going to be an issue? Are you, a member of your family, or even someone who visits your home often, allergic to pet fur? Think of this ahead of time. You might consider which breeds shed more and which breeds shed less, dog or cat. You also have to consider, does this pet need professional grooming? For example, you get a poodle, they have to be taken to a groomer and have their hair cut regularly, right? And also that's an expense. So if you're getting a dog that needs to be groomed regularly, that is an expense that you're going to have to factor in. And also, do you want to mess with that? Do you want to have a salon appointment for your dog every 6 or 8 weeks? Do you know what I mean? Just something to consider. And also consider whether you're willing to keep up on pet fur, for example, by washing the pet's blankets regularly or brushing your pet regularly. Again, fur, just something to think about. Also, a very big one, do you have kids? Now, my family always had a pet when I was a kid, and I personally think that having a pet is super beneficial to children in so many ways, but not all pets are good with kids. So especially if you have young kids, definitely consider this before choosing a pet, and make sure that you're getting a pet that is suitable for children. For example, if you have small children, don't adopt an elderly cat. Okay, that cat's not going to want to deal with your kids. They're probably it's going to be too stressful for them. Actually, an elderly dog as well. Do you see what I mean? Make sure that your pet is going to match what's going on in your household. And that includes whether or not you have kids, what the kids' activities are, and how a pet is going to tolerate the kids, right? Also consider, how will the pet behave? You should consider the temperament of certain breeds, the age of the pet, and whether they have had or need to receive training. Now, for dogs and puppies, I recommend the online dog trainer. I'm going to give you a link to that website in the description box, and I'm also going to give you a link to my full review of that website. It's the #1 dog training recommendation on my website, and has been for more than 6 years. For cats and kittens, I recommend the Complete Cat Guide. Again, I'm going to give you a link to go directly to that, and I'm also going to give you a link to my review of that program if you need some help learning how to train a dog or a cat, puppy or a kitten. Okay, those are my top recommendations. Now, like I said, if you have children, adopting a senior pet is not going to be a good idea. If you're considering a puppy or a kitten, definitely get the training. Go ahead and read my reviews. Go ahead and check out these training programs that I'm suggesting to you. It is one of the things that just a lot of people don't think about, not so much with kittens, but with puppies in particular. Potty training, for example, it's got to be done right. Otherwise the dog's in trouble. Everybody's mad at the dog. You know, things are getting ruined. The same with chewing. You know, if puppy's chewing up your stuff. With cats, you know, if they're scratching up your couch, if they're destroying your stuff, if you don't know how to litter box train your cat and they're urinating at different places in the house, the training is super important. And even if you're an experienced dog or cat owner, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and click into those links that I'm giving you. And again, just get like a refresher course on that stuff, okay? Also, you need to consider which pet will fit into your lifestyle. If you and your family are active, you have to have a pet that can keep up with that. If you're retired and live a quiet, less active lifestyle, your pet would need to be content with that. Okay, say a boxer, for example. This is a dog who's going to love to go to the park. He's going to love to be in the backyard playing with the kids. That is not a dog that is going to be content sitting in your apartment day and night, okay? An English bulldog, on the other hand, they're not so active. You know, you kind of have to coax them to go for a walk every day. And, you know, they tend to be a more relaxed or kind of lazy sort of pet. If you're a peace and quiet, loving homebody and you live alone, an adult house cat who likes to snuggle might be the perfect fit for you. Maybe you don't want to have to go outside 3-4 times a day to walk a dog, right? Maybe you just want an easy lifestyle with an easy pet. Again, an adult house cat could be the right fit for you. Also, a young puppy or kitten with endless energy, maybe you don't want that. Okay, so make sure that the pet that you're choosing has a personality that matches your lifestyle so that you will both be happy. And again, you want to be happy with this pet, but you also want the pet to be happy in their new home, right? You want it to be beneficial for both of you. Now, a couple things before we go. First of all, I hope that this has helped. If you've been here before, you've seen this boy. This is my cat, Whiskers. He is currently about 9 months old. I adopted him as a feral kitten, and I mention him in a lot of my cat training and cat care videos. He's a very sweet boy. He's a sweet snuggle bug. I love him. Now, choosing a pet is a big responsibility. Having a pet is a big responsibility, but pets are worth it all day long, in my opinion. There are so many dogs and cats that are currently in desperate need of a loving home, so I'm going to ask you to please consider adopting a dog or a cat from your local SPCA or animal shelter. I am going to give you a link to my article called Where to Find a Pet. Search near your area, where you can go and search for specific kinds of animals, breeds of animals, age, and within your zip code. I'm going to give you a link to that. I'm also going to give you a link to my video called Adopting Rescue Dogs, and this covers some of the things that you need to know about shelter dogs. I'm going to give you a video on how to choose a dog breed, and that comes with a checklist on all the things to consider when you're choosing which breed of dog to get. And I'm also going to give you 2 different videos. One is what do I need for a new kitten, and the other is preparing for a puppy. And both of those will have a link for a printable checklist of the things that you're going to need. And again, even if you're an experienced pet owner, I'm going to ask you to go ahead and go in and watch these videos. Again, get a refresher course, be prepared for what this pet is going to need before you bring it home, okay? Couple more things. Hang with me just one more minute. I appreciate you hanging on this long. I donate to animal charities. I do peoplelovinganimals.com as my job. And I get a small commission for some, not all, but some of the products and services that I recommend on my website and also on this YouTube channel. And I donate 10% of those commissions to animal charities. And if you would like to see a list of the animal charities that I donate to, you can find that on the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com. So I hope so much that this video has helped. I would love it if you would comment below. Let me know, what are you considering? A dog, a cat, a puppy, or a kitten? If you have questions on, what kind of dog or cat you might want to consider, whether or not you should or should not have a pet, I'm happy to answer. Go ahead and start a conversation with other people watching in the comment box. And I would also love it if you would drop a comment. Let me know what you thought of today's video. So again, if it was helpful, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you're not already. And please share the channel with your friends and family who have or want to get a dog or a cat. Again, I hope I helped. My name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.